He's probably watching the screen.
Thank you very much, Count Caller, and I apologise for not being here earlier, but I was chairing a meeting. I wish to make a couple of important points with regard to this. First of all, when it comes to regulation, we have to be just so careful that we don't do harm to people who need these type of vehicles. I know firsthand the importance, for instance, that quads play in many facets of life, be it our farming communities, contractors. You even see quads now being used in road traffic management where road works are being done, and they're a convenient vehicle for convoying during road works and escorting traffic in that type of regulated way. So they're a very important vehicle on our roads, and should I say, on off our roads. I know many farmers, like if you took the quad off them, you know, they'd be more upset than if you took anything else from them, because it's like it's saving their legs, it's helping them, whether it's repairing fences, whether it's going out, you know, in the springtime when sheep are gaining, and that you can have so many attachments, a fine box on the back to bring in a sick lamb, a pet lamb, and all that sort of thing. So we have to be very careful about regulation and about what we do and about what we don't do. And the one thing that worries me sometimes is people bringing in regulations and not actually knowing what they're talking about, because they might not realise that when people think of quads or vehicles like that, they might think of things they might see on the beach by people using them for enjoyment purposes. The things I'm talking about are purely practical, purely for spraying rushes in ground that you can't travel with anything else, for topping in places where you can't travel with anything else, again for being useful on various different contracts and work like that. So I just want to ensure that anything that we ever do inside in this house, that people understand what they're doing and realise, as Deputy McGrath said, that you have to be careful that one thing I wanted to say about the whole issue of quads. Unfortunately, I have known back over the years since quads came out, a number of friends of mine who have been actually seriously injured on quads, but because of their very nature, there was never cabs or roll bars, because they wouldn't be as functionable or as usable if they had a cab. But the very fact that they don't have a roll bar or don't have a legal requirement to have a roll bar has resulted in injuries that wouldn't have happened if they had a type of a roll bar. So things like that also have to be looked at, because we have to try and ensure the practicality of a vehicle and at the same time the safety of the users of that vehicle. And I'll never forget a story that Deputy McGrath told me about an event involving a quad, and it was very sad and horrific. So we have to be careful about what we're talking about inside this house.